We are 10 for 10 with Chainsaw Man giving us quality episodes and quality ending songs. And honestly, this week's ending song, Frame 1, I was like, what is this style? What are we looking at? And honestly, I hope I'm not the only one who felt like there was 3 styles of songs throughout that short ending sequence, but it was so weird, but in a great way that had me being like, honestly, out of the past few ending songs, I'd actually give it to this one for being my favorite out of probably the past 2 or 3, give or take. But like I said, it's 10 for 10. It's not a diss at any of the ending songs. They're all damn amazing in their own rights. But there's something about this episode that just, it sucked me in, and just to see poor Aki, man, in the state he's in, literally has nothing, and the first thing he gets to see when he wakes up is the 2 idiots he's forced to take care of, arguing over his apples, and when they finally leave him alone, that he's left with a singular apple. Yes, you can argue he didn't even want the apples to begin with, but the fact that Denji took the whole damn basket, I was upset for Aki, even if he went for the cigarette above the apple, but leave it to Chainsaw Man to just knock it out of the park with simple character moments being absolutely top tier. Now, I do got a full live reaction available on the Patreon if you're interested, but let's talk about this one. Not only do they end with the future devil, which is apparently the devil Aki is going to attempt to make a contract with, one would suspect successfully, given the fact that the 2 things that they bring up is like the 2 people that have made a contract with it. One gave up the eyes and the other gave up half their life. This episode confirms our boy has like 2 years left to live seemingly, so if half your life is actually still on the table, losing a year to gain the ability to most likely see into the future is, I would imagine, something in that area of what this devil can do. Maybe it's not the worst thing ever, but the fact that they have to hit you right in the heart with the sister coming in with the bundle of letters and how it just reads stuff like, how can I get Aki to quit, as he's basically ready to throw his life completely away. You could argue, well, he only has 2 years left to live, his whole mission of revenge, it's really all he has at this point. What is he gonna do, sit back and relax with Denji in power? That doesn't sound like a life worth living right there. But I think the fact that it definitely hits him, I mean, the boy was crying when they eventually left, and the fact that the person that clearly he cared about so damn much, just everything like that, it adds extra pain upon pain upon pain, to the point that you, as seen by Aki, just grow so numb to it that all you have left is to stare death in the face and say, when are you gonna take me? I thought what was crazy though about Power and Denji was one thing that I've always loved with stories that have any character come back from the dead. Often what you'll see writers do is they'll write them in a way that they'll explain it as, when I came back, a part of me wasn't here anymore. Almost like you lose a piece of yourself, you lose a piece of your humanity every time you come back from the dead. I've seen it in constant stories ranging from vampire, military type stories from like way back in the day with magic and stuff. To see a character like Denji, who he says in the first day of training, he died like 20 times and got brought back more or less. And I think it's interesting because in this episode prior to that training, he's looking at Aki crying, he's looking at like the concept, he gets the concept, well, you lost someone close to you, but then he thinks to himself, would I be in the same boat? If he died, would I cry? Probably not. If Power died, he's more or less like, God no, which I thought was hilarious in his own way. Even Makima, he's like, after a few days, I'd go on with my life. And he's questioning, like, did I actually lose my human heart when I became this devil? And I think the concept of having him die over and over and over again to basically train. So once they can deal with this man, that's when they'll probably be ready for stuff like the Gun Devil. So the concept of bringing someone back to the point where he's like literally brain dead after the first day of training, Power has to knock literal sense into him for him to kickstart properly. While I'm not necessarily saying like he's actually losing pieces of his humanity in like most stories would do, it is something that I feel like is kind of tied together with his statement of, does he even believe he's human anymore because he feels nothing? One could argue it's just because, well, he literally had a messed up life to begin with. He's never really known a normalcy situation if it bit him in the face. So the fact of the matter is, the concept of killing someone over and over to the point that that's literally his normal, you do have to wonder how human someone could stay after, one, making a contract with the Chainsaw Devil, and 2, your training is going to kill you hundreds if not thousands of times before you can get a single blow in on this man. So it's something that's interesting. It's something that gets my mind racing about what Denji will look like by the end of the first part of this story, right? Like, it's something that definitely any sort of humanity he might have, I really fear isn't gonna last for much longer. And I thought it was actually kind of fun. It was silly because as soon as the two dumbest characters start saying they're gonna act smart in battle, you know they're not gonna get a winning blow. The fact that they put on glasses to appear smart, I mean, it's just, there's constantly jokes online being like, you know, there's all of the brain cells in a room, it usually goes to Aki with them sharing a singular nothing. So the fact that, you know, they may have been a bit more smarter, and their plan was good. She threw the blood spike through the door, they had bottles of blood above so that it could just, you know, attack from below, and hell, even Denji's sneak attack. Did it work? No, but was it better than their initial attempts? Absolutely. So they are improving and they are acting smarter. It's just when characters who arguably have some of the dumbest lines and have the least common sense are saying they're going to be the smartest, you know, it's hard not to just laugh. But I do like seeing the progression, and I'm glad that this immediate smart attitude didn't allow them to get the winning blow or anything, because I think it is something that they need to struggle with. Because something I've been saying throughout the fights that Denji's been a part of is he's basically an untrained soldier. He's flailing his arms with chainsaws, and while yes, that can do damage, it's not the same as a skilled swordsman or a skilled sniper, an assassin who's been doing this all their life with proper training. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how these two characters are going to awaken more and more to the point that, I mean, he loves their attitude, he thinks they're perfect, like, hey, who would you side with, humans or devils? Whichever one's gonna feed me better, whichever one's winning, right? These types of attitudes are hard to come by because they're not human, they're not normal, they're messed up. And the fact that that's the perfect person to work in this environment, I mean, it says it all, right? And that's what I really liked about this episode. The mixture of Aki's kind of reflection and the heartbreak and the emotion from what he's lost, to Denji contemplating if he even has any ounce of humanity left, given that he can't even imagine feeling as bad as someone like him is in this moment. Or Power, just the fact that she's arguing, well, I had to leave because I was hungry. No, you left because you were scared. Which one's the truth? I don't think it much matters, because she literally got the hell out of there and left everyone for dead. These characters are so beyond messed up, and that's what makes it such a compelling world to follow, because there's nothing quite like Chainsaw Man. Like, it's not an exaggeration when I say Chainsaw Man to me is a 10 out of 10 production. Not only do you get like 10 unique ending songs so far, and we're getting 12 unique ending songs total, both visually and song-wise feel perfect to kind of tie that bow on an episode that feels different every week, but it's a building block to get to the grand finish line, whatever that may be. And with the concept of like people being able to make the same contract with the same devil and different prices to pay, a man who's already made a couple, and the fact that he has less than 2 years to live, and who knows how long he'll have after the devil probably accepts the terms, and honestly, is he gonna lose an arm, lose a leg? I don't know, but the fact that characters are willing to go to such extremes in this messed up environment, and the way Mappa is going in with the gore, like, it never feels edgy. It never feels like the over-exaggerated blood splatters are in the typical directing style. Instead, it feels super gory, but tasteful gory, and just everything about it, no matter what I look at, if I take that fine-tooth comb and go thread by thread, it feels so perfect, and I know I'm not alone feeling that way about Chainsaw Man. So I'll pass the torch over to you. What do you think of episode 10, new ending song? What do you hope to see in the last stretch of this? Do let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new around here. Like I mentioned, there's full live reaction available on the Patreon, and while you're there, you can also get video shoutouts like a few are about to get here. So we got Skarsky, Spectra, and Daniel Darby. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.